Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, just on time. This is Jane Viana, your Canadian immigration consultant here with Visit Place for our live session today. So thank you guys for joining. We'll be taking questions at the end of our event today. So if you have any questions, any pressing topics that you want to talk about today, feel free to comment below and we'll get to them at the end of our conversation. Today, I just wanted to give you guys a brief update on what has been going on with Canadian immigration and what things are in terms of, study visas, taking into consideration that September intake, it's, just around the corner and classes should be starting very soon. We'll talk about the border closure as well, the ban that has been extended for a couple more weeks. And we'll also talk about the latest updates on Express Entry. So thank you for joining in. Thanks for tuning in with us today. And make sure to drop your questions below so we can talk about it before we end, okay? My apologies if you guys are hearing some background noise. There is some construction going on the room next door. So I apologize in advance for the noise. I hope you guys are able to hear me okay. And let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about is the travel ban that has been extended, right? So the borders would remain closed for another couple of weeks, which is just something that we have to deal with. We still have exemptions in place. So if you are a essential worker, if you are a family member of a Canadian citizen or a Canadian PR, or if you have a loved one in Canada, you may still be able to enter Canada, even though the borders are technically closed for non-discretionary, non-essential travel, okay? So you might have heard in the news that it has been extended, but don't be discouraged. We can still help you get in inside if you fall under the exemptions, okay? So if you're not sure how the exemptions work, if you want to know how to go about it, reach out to us and we'll be ready to assist you on getting the right paperwork in place and preparing an entry package for you so you can be in Canada with your family or loved ones, okay? That being said, the processing of study permits, we know that they have been, as I said on our last conversation, the students have been able to submit applications and the processing has been split in 2 stages, right? So that program will still be in place all the way up to September 15 for programs starting this fall or next winter. So there's still time for those who are considering studying in Canada. Again, starting this fall or early intake of January 2021. You may have to start your classes online and then eventually move into on-ground classes, which is not, it can be an advantage for a lot of us. So don't miss out if you had plans to come in and study in Canada. That's very much possible. Even though you might have to work under special circumstances, that's not a bad thing at all. Can very much work for you. So reach out to us if you're still interested or if you are looking to start your program sooner or soon rather than later. So looking at still September intake, if you're already in touch with universities, if you have a letter of acceptance, very much possible. Still, we have until September 15 to submit those applications. So still some time, okay? Reach out if you are interested on pursuing that route, okay? That is just a quick reminder for students or potential international students. Now, let's look into Express Entry. I'm sure many of you have been following the news, and we are very happy to see that Express Entry has resumed processing applications under the FSW. We have a lot of clients under that particular stream, and it's very important for us to ensure our clients that they're still going to be able to immigrate. Canada still very much promotes the immigration of skilled workers. So we had a draw in July. Following that, we had some draws that were provincial nomination specific or Canadian experience class specific. But in August, early this month, we had a general draw, right? So federal skilled workers were also included, which is really good sign, right? They started in July and they're continuing to do it in August. So as I always say, you need to be ready at the right time on the right place. So if you are interested in pursuing Canadian immigration, it's very much up and running. They're still sending out invitations, and you should be in a pool of candidates as soon as you can, right? We are expecting to have another draw coming up maybe this week, since the first one took place nearly 3 weeks ago, August 5th. And so for those who were interested on the cutoff, the number for the last round, the last general draw, was 476. So so that's the latest cutoff for the general draw. Again, we are expecting to have another draw very soon, and probably the upcoming months and other general draws will be taking place as well. We have quotas to meet in terms of immigration, and Canadian immigration will remain very dynamic as the time goes. So if you're not familiar with Expressing, if you're new to this, let's do a recap of what is needed in order for you to join the pool of candidates, submit your expression of interest, and start your process, okay? So basically, we're looking at your work experience, your education, your language ability. So you may be required to take a English exam. If you are bilingual, if you speak English and French, then you have a huge advantage under the Express Interest system, and you should definitely look into it more closely. But you don't need to be bilingual. If you speak either French or English, you were fine. And lastly, age is another relevant factor as well. So the reason why the Federal Skilled Worker Program, FSW, is so popular is because it would allow candidates that are not in Canada, that don't have a Canadian job offer, that don't have Canadian work experience, to also participate on the selection and potentially immigrate to Canada, right? So you're looking at a program that allows you to immigrate as a permanent resident right away. So that's why the program is so loved and it's so popular as well, right? If you want to know more, if you want to have a more detailed assessment of your profile, you can either book a consultation with one of us consultants here at Visa Place, or you can just quickly go on our website. We have a wonderful self-assessment tool that you can use to have a better idea of where you stand in terms of points. So you can visit right now, visaplace.com, and you're going to find the point simulator for you with your on our website, and this will give a better idea of where you stand in terms of points. It's great if you want to do that before having a consultation, so you can come in for our conversation more prepared and having a better idea of where you stand in terms of points, okay? Another trend that we have been observing more and more and has become even more popular within this last year is the provincial nomination programs, right? Many of you have questions about it. Many of you are seeing the news of how many invitations have been sent. We had several draws within the last couple of months. There were provincial nomination only, right? So the provinces are becoming more active on nominating candidates for immigration. They are claiming more space there, which is very good. Today, August 19, we had the International Student Stream open for the Ontario PNP, for those who are in Ontario and they are applying under that particular category. It opened today. It's probably going to close very soon because it's a capped program. So, but it's good to see the programs moving forward, right? That program does require you to have a job offer. So if you have an offer of employment in Ontario and you meet the education requirements of that program, great chance to submit your expression of interest and perhaps getting nominated under the Ontario PNP, okay? Over the course of this month, we had several draws that were provincial nomination only, right? Like we had yesterday, August 18, the BC PNP sent out over 300 invitations across 5 different streams. So that's really, really good. It's nice to see the programs being so active. The majority of those programs, they are employment driven. So having a job offer in the province of BC, it's a mandatory requirement. Some of them are linked with Express Entry. Some of them are still paper-based, but nonetheless, they're all under the British Columbia PNP. We had as well Saskatchewan that sent out like just a few days ago, August 14, over 500 invitations under the Express Entry program as well, under the in-demand occupations of their own program. So for those who are in Saskatchewan and they have work experience under that particular occupation that it's in demand on the province, they are being given preference in terms of processing, which is really good. It shows that the province is really committed to supporting those workers. They are supporting the province, right? We also had Manitoba and Ontario earlier this month as well. So last month as well. So BC, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan have been quite active this month of August. And hopefully we'd have more PNP invitations coming in within the next couple of weeks. So if you are in Canada and you're exploring a potential provincial nomination program that suits your work experience or your profile, don't hesitate to be ready to create a profile and indicate. Okay, so let's take a look at your questions. Okay, hopefully we have some good questions coming up. Okay, so I have a 22-year-old son, not a dependent. Can I sponsor him under family class? Most likely no, right? So the moment you reach 22, you are no longer a dependent child, so you cannot be sponsored as a dependent child unless there's some specific medical condition that leads the child to be completely dependent on the parents, right? So there's an exemption. It's not a rule. Usually, sponsorship for dependent children can only go up to less than 22 years of age, which is unfortunate, but your son is 22, so very young. He may very well be eligible under one of the economic streams. Okay, so sponsorship may not be the route for him, but there certainly are other options, especially if he's already got family in Canada. We can look into express entry. We can look into a study program that would lead him to PR eventually. Okay, so we need more details about his profile. So come talk to us, and we can look into it more carefully and work on an immigration plan for him. Okay. Let me see if there are any other questions here. What happened to tourist visas? So because of the travel ban, because of the borders being closed, tourist visas have been put on hold for some time. This is just because people are unable to travel right now. But nonetheless, the borders would open sometime, eventually before the end of the year. So if you're looking to visit Canada, you might not be able to do it right now, but you'll be able to do it soon. So if you're planning to visit, let's say on the winter or next summer, right now, it's a good time to start getting ready, get the paperwork in place, prepare your application, make sure you have all the documents, that your eligibility is good, and then you can have your visa approved before your travels. So right now, not really, you won't be able to visit Canada for tourism, but nonetheless, it's still a good time to prepare your application, have your visa, your paperwork ready for when they resume processing, right? We're expecting to see a significant backlog in terms of visitor visa applications. So if you're looking to visit in the near future, it's good to submit your application as soon as possible, so you'll be in a better position when it comes to processing, once they resume processing, right? So don't wait around, because it might even take longer if you're wait for the borders to open. You can nonetheless prepare the visitor visa application, submit, but it will be on hold for the time being, okay? Unless you are a family member of a Canadian citizen or PR, that changes things a little bit. So if you have Canadian family members, then you may have a faster avenue to get your entry visa for Canada. Let me see what else. So hello, I have done bachelor's degree and a 3 months diploma in office management, 2017. I want to study visa for Canada. Please tell me what to do. Absolutely, we can look into a study permit program for you. You might have to start your studies online for the time being, depending on the school that you choose to enroll, but nonetheless, very much possible for 2020 or 2021 if you want to have more time to plan. So we can talk about the study permit program and potential programs that you can pursue. Come talk to us, and we'll look into your options more closely. Okay. Let me look at what else we have here. My name is Natisha. I have been applying to move to Canada. Can you give me some instructions? That's what we're here for, right? We're immigration lawyers. So we are here to guide you through the process, talk about the different avenues, the different options, and work with you on an immigration plan, right? So immigration to Canada is very possible, is very feasible. We have very dynamic programs throughout the year, even under the current circumstances, right? Like we're going through a global health crisis, and yet Canadian immigration continues to move forward very systematically. So I'm sure there will be a program that is suitable for you. But I'll need more information on you in order to to give you more practical instructions. So the best thing to do would be to come and talk to us, and we'll look into your options, and we'll draft an immigration plan for you. Okay. Okay, I see some French and Spanish comments and questions. As much as I would love to read them and answer them, I don't think I'm able to. So if you can perhaps translate your questions before posting, that would be very helpful, because then I can look at them in English, okay? Please, can you review my study permit documents before I submit? And if so, are you going to give instructions and make corrections in my documents? Very good question. So we do have a service that is called Visa Review, and we also have another service called Visa Assist. So if you're already working on your study permit application for Canada, or you're not perhaps looking to hire a law firm to represent you on that process, the Visa Assist and Visa Review can be great alternatives to you. It is highly recommended that you have a legal professional or immigration consultant or an immigration lawyer looking into your documents before you send it to immigration, right? Processing of those documents can be quite lengthy, and the last thing you want is to have your application returned or refused because it was incomplete or it wasn't done properly, right? So even if you're not looking for full representation from a law firm, having your application reviewed can be very valuable in terms of mitigating risks, ensuring that you have the right information, ensuring that you're maximizing your chances of having it approved, having a positive outcome, right? So absolutely, we do have services like that. So Visa Review or Visa Assist. You can find more information about those services on our website. So I'm not going to go in detail into that, but if you go right now on visaplace.com, you find more info about the options that we have to review current applications that you already are working on. Okay, not only the forms, but the additional documents, the supporting documents, the study plan, the letter of intent, and all of those things that make a study permit application so unique, right? As someone who's been practicing immigration law for some time now, I know that just going by the checklist is oftentimes not enough, right? So I know you have a checklist, you have an idea of where to start, but you certainly have to go beyond what's in the checklist if you want to have a strong case and increases your chances of success, okay? And let me see what else is here. Well, I think the next question, what are the benefits of having a law firm represent and review documents by a law firm? I think I just answered those, right? You are not only mitigating risks, but you are risks of refusal or returned applications, but you also significantly increasing your chances of having a positive outcome. Because applying for a visa, especially a study or work or a visitor visa, it's it's a discretionary application. So we really want to make sure that you're satisfying the visa officer's concerns, potential concerns, and in submitting a strong case. As I said, just going by the checklist, it's oftentimes not enough. Depending on you really have to understand your particular situation, your particular conditions, the country that you're applying from, your family profile. All those things will be relevant in terms of establishing what kind of documents are supportive, what kind of intent should I be disclosing on my application, right? So each application, it can be very unique, and it is very unique. That's why you have to be careful when you do. The internet is amazing, right? We find so much information out there. We can share experiences, and why not? And that's very good. But you have to be careful whenever you look at someone else's experience and you know, before assuming that will be the same for you. So each case is unique. Each circumstances needs to be assessed individually. Okay, let me see if I have any other questions here. What about postgrad work permit holders wanting to move into PR? Very much possible still, right? Most of postgrad work permit holders, they're already in Canada working. They have not been affected by the border closure, but they're rather been benefiting from lower CRS because scores, because we had several draws that were focusing only on Canadian experience class. So, and I say that because there is a direct correlation between postgrad work permit and the CC category, right? The CC program. You don't have to have you don't need to have a postgrad work permit in order to apply under the CC, but oftentimes it's a very common pathway. So for those, still very much, you know, in place. CC has not been paused at all. It's been going on since March, and even when we have general draws, CC is also always included. Okay, so if you're in Canada on a postgrad work permit holder and you meet the work requirements of the CC, very much should be good to go. Okay. Hello, Jane. What's the best proper channel for immigration to Canada? I'm from Kenya. Okay. It depends, right? If you have family in Canada, we can look at family options, family sponsorship options. If you are a skilled worker, there are several programs that can be suitable for you under the economic class. So there's no one-fit-all program for Canada, right? You have to look at the type of work that you do, your education background, if you have any ties to Canada, and things like that. So come talk to us. We'll do a more in-depth assessment of your particular profile, okay? Can you please tell me immigration programs for software developers to immigrate to Canada? Software developers really, they really can benefit from a lot of the PNPs that are out there, right? It's a highly transferable occupation, does not require any specific license. So it's really, if you are a software developer or any IT professional in general, I would say that there are many options for you, especially if you consider there's no licensing process and you are able to start working right away, right? It's a highly transferable occupation. So for all the software developers out there, it's an occupation that is usually always in demand in many provinces. So it's in a hot list of many provinces. You should definitely look into submitting your expression of interest and making your profile available for everyone to see. What happened when the website said you aren't eligible to the Express Entry program? Do you have any other form to fill the requirements and know how to apply to this program? Okay, so this is not uncommon. I have a lot of consultations with clients are like, oh, I tried to create my profile, I couldn't. The reason for that is because in order for you to be ready to join the pool of candidates under Express Entry, you need to have the required documents, right? So you won't be able to launch your profile before you have the right exam, language exam reports. And if you have education from outside Canada, you need to have those education credentials assessed, right? So this needs to be done before you can launch your profile. That's probably why most of the time individuals are not able to move forward in the process, okay? If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you've never heard about education credentials assessment, and if you're not sure what language exam you should be looking to take, again, this is certainly something that we can help you with, that we can guide you through. If you're working with a law firm to navigate this process, really you will be in charge of all the communication between the Canadian government and yourself. They're going to be analyzing your work experience and identifying what's the right NOC code for your particular occupation. So yeah, there are several things to be looked at before you can go on and create your profile. It's certainly good to do an initial assessment and know when you're ready to actually go on and create and join the pool of candidates. Not something you can do, overnight. Some planning is required. That's why, starting slow and building your immigration plan moving forward it's so important. Okay. Hey, I'm from Nepal and I want to come to Canada for master's program in agriculture field. What should I try for my further studies? Well, the first thing to do is to know what you want to study. Sounds like you already know what you want to do. That's good. Next step would be to start communicating with the institution that you want to study, to get enrolled in that program, and then get the study visa in order as well, right? The process of enrollment, it needs to be done side by side with the study permit application. You need to be enrolled first before we can submit the study permit application, but those things need to be worked on in parallel. So the first step you already do, which is knowing what you want to study. Second step is to find the right school for you, the right institution, and then we can get it started with the work with the study permit application. Okay. Looking to move from the UK to Canada and would be looking to buy a property. That is fine. So there's, buying property will not necessarily lead you to any immigration program, but you are able to do so if you wish, right? Even as a study or work permit holder, as a PR, of course, you're able to buy property in Canada. If you're looking to start a business in Canada, that can be an even better route, right? So for all the business people out there, if you're looking to, if you don't have a job offer, but you've been running a business or if you've been self-employed for some time, there are some business streams that you can explore as well. So If instead of buying a house, you're looking to buy a business, then that can potentially lead you to immigration as well. If you want to know more about it, or if you have a lot of business people in the audience, do let us know so we can perhaps do a video on that topic as well. Okay. Hello, Jane. I just finished my bachelor's degree, and okay, I already answered that one. Looking to move to Canada. Can a registered nurse in the U.S. work as a registered nurse in Canada? You would have to look into the provincial requirements, right? Provincial federal requirements for that particular occupation. The immediate answer will be no, because the US and Canada are two different countries, of course. But you may have a fast track to, get licensed in Canada, and why not? So each occupation have different ways of dealing with the licensing process. The best thing to do would be to reach out to the appropriate organization that is in charge of licensing nurses or registered nurses in Canada and see what's the process like, okay? There's certainly a process in place. So you just have to look into it depending on where you're looking to relocate and the type of certification that you have from the US. Okay, so I think this is it, guys. So thank you for joining. Thank you for all your questions. I hope this is helpful. I will be sure to get back to you guys if you have any new updates on Canadian immigration on this upcoming weeks. If there's any particular topic that you guys want to talk about or ask questions about, feel free to let us know so we can do a more targeted event, Facebook event with you guys. Yeah, if you wanna have your particular case or a particular situation looked at more closely, the best thing to do is to book a consultation so we can have a one-on-one, to talk to you about what's needed and how to get started, okay? I hope everyone is having a great week so far, and stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.